Looking back on when I was going on road trips with my parents, it's the vibrations I remember the most. Or maybe I'm just imagining it from the way the camera shakes in these old reels. Nostalgia flows over me, but I swear you could feel the heat radiating off the engine block through the floorboards, or feel that constant hum that traveled up your legs and settles in your chest. But looking at this footage now, the light seems heavier, like it had more work to do back then. Also, there's this specific kind of domestic ritual in the way they packed the station wagons back then that really just sticks with me. The heavy leather suitcases that barely fit in the back, the cooler full of glass bottles that clunk around at every turn or bump, and the map that never quite folded back the right way no matter how many times you tried. People, they weren't leaving just for a week back then in the 60s. I think they were committing to a physical struggle with the distance. The road wasn't an abstract line on a glowing screen, it was a physical weight you carried in your shoulders. You felt every expansion joint in the bridge, every patch of loose gravel, and every change in the grade of a climb. You weren't just traveling through the landscape, you were being shaped by it, molded into a new person by this experience, minute by minute, mile by dusty mile. But also, there's something about the way the scenery unfolds when there isn't a highway wall in your way blocking the view. You were forced to be a witness to every single mile of the country. You saw the peeling paint on old barn doors, the way laundry hung limp on small wires, or the specific shade of green corn would be at the sunset along with the red sky. Now, we bypass the life of the country at 80 miles an hour in a climate-controlled bubble, staring at a small little screen that holds our entire lives. But back then, the windows were always down, the car was filled with the smell of diesel, the damp air of a coming storm, or the dust of the road. You caught a glimpse of people's lives back then. Maybe a man leaning against a tractor, a woman shaking out a rug, or a dog playing with a stick. For a second, you were part of their world. You didn't just arrive at a destination, you earned it by passing through 1,000 different versions of nowhere that all felt like somewhere to the people living there. But you would always hold a map back then, trying to find out if you're going the right way or not. Getting lost wasn't a failure of technology back then, it was just a shift. You pull over to a roadside stand that only sold peaches or a specific local soda. You talk to someone, you would ask for directions but get a weird story instead about them and their cousin. The human friction is gone now though. We've traded the uncertainty of a digital voice that is never wrong, but it's also never curious. The modern road is lonely because it's too perfect. It doesn't allow for the accidental discovery of a hidden swimming hole or a diner at the best buy in the country. We've optimized the soul out of the trip. We've turned the between into a loading screen, an obstacle to overcome rather than the reason of the journey in the first place. Also, looking at kids in the back seat then, just staring out the window with their chins resting on hot vinyl. None of them had headphones to drown out the sound of the world or screens to hide behind. They're just existing in the boredom, and in that boredom, they are learning the rhythm of the telephone poles, the way the power lines dip and rise like a heartbeat across the plains. It's a meditative state that we don't allow ourselves anymore. By the time they reach the coast or the mountains, they've been changed by the sheer endurance of the trip. The distance costs them something, time, patience, maybe a little bit of sweat. But because it costs something, the arrival actually has weight to it. The destination isn't just a place on the map, it's the relief at the end of a long shared struggle. But I feel like the sun always pulls the shadows across the lane the right way. In the film, it's so grainy that it almost seems like the dust fills everywhere in the car. I always wondered if the road is still out there, under all that new asphalt and neon logos of the franchises and road signs everywhere. I think we traded the grit for the smooth, and in the process we lost the sense of how big the world really is. I'll just let the camera run though for a little while. I want to see where this journey takes us.